Hi.
Yeah, we're back again.
Yeah.
How's it going? How's it been going?
It's going very well. Yeah, it's been a strange old time. Welcome to episode 7 of series 1 of FFRUK TV.
Slightly different format this week because I've been away.
Yeah, you've been away and my Facebook account got hacked. Well, and yours, all of ours.
Yeah. We did get hacked and and our accounts got hacked. Advertising, because we have to pay for advertising and stuff. Everything got hacked. So I've just been on the Stranglers tour, supporting the Stranglers, and it was going very well. And then the last couple of days,
you couldn't update anyone, could you? We couldn't.
Someone either got jealous or just thought that probably wasn't even anything to do with that. But anyway,
I don't know what it was. It was all very weird, and it just showed how fragile the whole Facebook structure is.
Which we can talk about later. But
yeah.
Anyway, have you had a good month?
I've had an interesting month. Yeah, I've been learning new things. I've been trying to not work as much.
Yeah.
Do I really want to talk about that?
Well, you just have. So anyway, art is the thing, and we're doing it.
Art is the thing.
So so last time I was on was with the rest of the band, Ruts DC, which was a month ago. So I can't believe actually I was on tour then as well. So we finished that now with a few ups and downs, but generally really great. Really great to see anybody that came along who's watching this. It was fantastic to see like 2,000 people a night coming out. It was kind of like the first time back for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And they just went mad. So it was great. We went mad, and it was all fantastic. So that's
I did a gig as well.
You did?
Yeah. I did a gig in Chatham in Kent.
Yeah. How did that go? I'm sorry I missed it.
It was beautiful actually. It was a small kind of like punk rock and roll bar in the middle of Chatham. It looked great and lovely people, and yeah, it was packed out.
You got a few more coming out, haven't you, as well? I think.
Got quite a few dates coming up for the Jewel, so yeah, that'll come out on a little poster hopefully this week. All the places. Yeah.
Fine. Well, I got more. There's lots going on.
There's a lot
going
on.
We're not idle. We're certainly not idle. But so we've got a very special guest on the show this week. Unfortunately, not into the usual studios because, she couldn't really make it for today. So we did this yesterday. And who is it?
The lovely Jennie Matthias from the Bell Stars.
Yeah, otherwise called Jennie Bellstar. And wouldn't quite know. Me personally, I didn't quite know what she's written a book, and it wasn't. I didn't quite know how that was going to go, but it went very well. Really enjoyed it.
It was really good.
So we can show that. I mean, we didn't really edit it much. It's just completely.
We didn't. Throughout the show. Sorry, before we show that we're going to keep showing our donation link.
Yeah.
So that you know.
Not kidney donations. Nothing like that. Just anything under £40,000. No, I'm joking. No, because it is a DIY show, or PIY, as I like. Pay it yourself.
Yeah, pay it yourself. Do it yourself.
Yeah.
Everything yourself.
Tara pays most of the money to make this. I mean, I alone worth £500 an hour. No.
Yeah, if some of you have kind of been in touch and say you do want to donate, so this is why we're going to regularly put the donate link up so that you can do that, and definitely gratefully received. The more support we have, the more magic we'll create, eh?
Yeah, the more costs we'll pay, and the more no, it's true, and the more magic we can create. Which is because I really enjoy it, and I think we're changing some things slowly.
Yeah, and I think the people that come on, it's good for them to come on and talk with us and you, especially sometimes, about what they're doing. It kind of everyone gets a bit inspired, don't they?
I think they do. So I think this is quite an inspiring one for certain people. So that's brilliant. It's we'll let you make your own decisions, and
hope you enjoy the show.
Yeah, and we'll see you along the way. Bye.
This is silent time, he's about to come. This is silent time, time to be alone. This is silent time, he's about to come. This is silent time, time to be alone.
Hello, Tara.
Hello, Segs.
How you doing?
How
So-
are you? We have a very special guest
Yeah.
today, Jennie Matthias.
Yeah.
That'll
Legendary.
be me.
That's hello.
Hello,
Thank you
sweetheart.
so much for
We
coming
haven't
on the
really
show.
met. So what we do, we usually do this live because, but the show's not about show business or anything. It's really about truth and
Yep.
whatever that is, and try to change things in a positive way. And like Tara was saying, look at this. She's got to be on the show. So
yeah.
here you
So
are.
I saw you wrote this book,
Oh,
and I just thought,
yes, I have it here. I have a copy too.
Oh yeah.
yeah, I just thought, well, I kind of, as soon as I saw the title, it kind of did a little pang in my heart, because I've definitely, can associate with some of the stuff in this book. So it would mean the world to me to actually, try and help you sell your book and share the message and help as many people as we can, eh?
Yeah. Well, that's the idea.
Well, I mean, is it Segs? Did you say is the name?
Yeah.
Segs.
So
And Tara, but for me, if we're talking about truth, because this isn't your ordinary radio show where you just play the records and everything else. No, I believe it's a lot deeper than that, And if we're talking about us as individuals helping each other, surely that's what we're all here for in the first place.
Absolutely.
If you understand the esoteric, which I do, and I'm very much involved in that, my thing is, every single one of us that come on this planet are here for one purpose, and that is to help raise the vibration of this planet and all the souls within it. And I'm talking about animals, all sentient beings, and this kind of stuff. And so it's all about, this whole surviving the storm thing is about using my experiences in order to be able to do that, in order to be able to raise another person's vibration. Having gone through the darkness and come out the other side, I am now an authority on the subject of survival.
Yeah.
And so this is what surviving the storm is all about. It's all about surviving.
I haven't read the whole thing because we only just got it, and I've been on tour actually, but we just had we had a little meeting and sort of read through some bits, which is I mean, obviously we're not going to go through the story, because if you want to know the story, buy the book. But I do feel, we both of us have been through certain things, you especially, and it's about helping people that are maybe on page 3 of that book to get to the end, if you know what I mean. Like, as you're saying, raising the vibration.
I mean, some people have lovely lives, lovely mum and dads, and they have a great life, and they, everything is wonderful, but loads of people don't, you know, and they are.
I say 95% of those people don't. But
exactly.
But they're on the flip side, should they come through it, they are in an amazing position in order to then be able to help other people to then grow.
It's about that show and grow thing, which we talked about. It's also about breaking the chain of that, especially when it comes to abuse. So you don't, because obviously so many people do that, and then they treat their kids like that. I've met people like that, and that's very important to break the chain. You've done it, and we've got songs about that, and this is very, very important. And so I think providing answers is the way, if we can. I mean, we've all been through, watching you on Top of the Pops earlier, which is a curse and looking back at what you were and what we knew then, was totally different. But here we are, still surviving and still doing it and still doing gigs. And I find you're writing lyrics and writing, it's very important to provide some answers now instead of just a finger.
Yeah, and also I think you meet, I saw you, I used to watch you on Top of the Pops, I was that little girl that was going through troubles at home. Do you know what I mean? Like, and the people that were on TV were kind of my, survival. I loved you.
I totally get that.
I never forgot your face. Always
loved you.
Loved your power. And I also loved Soft Cell as well, because, their songs, for my situation, Tainted Love and all of that helped me as a kid. So if we can help people now,
great.
Of any age.
I think as I can totally resonate with what you just said when you're going through like a form of darkness in your youth, you look towards other things in order to be able to kind of raise your spirit. And more often than not, it's out of the fashion world, the music world, the creative world, the world where you can kind of, it could be a book, you know, if you're interested in reading books. You know, I used to read a lot of Agatha Christie because it used to take me out of the kind of loneliness.
I still do stuff like that. I still
I loved Agatha. I mean, just having great, excuse me, great stories. Delete.
Right.
Anyway, no, they were great. No, they just to you know, bring you in and stuff, you know. So I guess that but you know, from a personal point of view, you're saying that you saw me on TV and you kind of like the face and everything else or whatever. But what people don't realize is I was actually going through stuff that I didn't even know at the time until I left the band. That I was just actually sailing through all of this. It was no, you know, this thing came on my lap, and I was in the Bell Stars and everything else, next thing you know, and all of this came on my lap. But it wasn't until after I left that I realized that I had a problem.
Yeah,
it's a huge problem.
Did it help you? I mean, at the time, I mean,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. Well, of course, yeah.
Yeah. Because it's similar to, you know, it wasn't no abuse, but my dad died of cancer, you know, before the ruts, and then suddenly I was in the ruts. It helped enormously, you know, because I was only 20, you know, and then it's like, oh, and so yeah. But I don't think you certainly don't know at the time.
No,
you're doing or what you're going to be capable of later.
And you don't see yourself in that situation. You can't.
No.
There I am doing.
Going to respond is how you're going to respond to it. How long that's going to take. Yeah. Who's in your environment at the time? Yeah. Are you going to get waylaid into drugs and this, that, and the other? I mean, all kinds of stuff come into play, you know, and you know, and all of those things did come into play. Yeah. But you know, here we are today, telling the tale.
Yeah, we are, and
we're lucky.
We both got kids individually, and you know, my daughter's only 21, and yours is what. But they, you know, it's actually breaking that chain, teaching them a different way, and I feel I've been lucky to have that top of the pops family. I call it, you know, music in my life, because you know, you've got a totally different perspective, and you've broken a lot of things. You know, and I, you know, reading your book, it was. I mean, Tara was in tears at the breakfast. We had boiled eggs and tears, you know.
No, I had a lot of men crying over that book. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. It's the men that like the book more than even the women. And I was so surprised. I just, oh my God, how many people's hearts have I touched here? But you know what? Here's the fun thing. I didn't even mean to go and write a book.
Yeah.
I just went to the gym every morning, and I was so bored on the treadmill that I wrote it on the treadmill. I wrote these notes on the treadmill, and I come back, oh, I kind of like that, and I put it up on the computer. Next day, come back. I'm religious with the gym, by the way, and then come back for about. Next thing you know, I've got a bloody book in 2 months. 2 months later.
That's the amazing thing.
Brilliant.
So you finally, I mean, just picking out answers, exercise, very good for you, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've just been on tour, which is my exercise, and after 2 years of not doing it, it's like, actually, I feel refreshed. I was exhausted, but refreshed, because you're doing what you should do. So that's great, letting it flow and in the exercise. I never thought about writing a book on a treadmill, but that's brilliant.
That's doing two things for a man, isn't it?
But I always say I'm a man. I can't multitask.
No, I never thought about it either, but it happened, you know. Right. And from there on, I got the book, did the did the book launch. Yeah. Which, by the way, Adrian came to. I saw your band with Adrian Sherwood. Adrian's my good friend.
Yeah, so that Adrian's come back. I knew Adrian from, well, really early days, 78 and everything.
He told me about, he told me.
Yeah, and then we've recently hooked up again, which is great, and hopefully we're going to do some more stuff. But I didn't know you were there, which is amazing.
Is this at the Jazz Cafe?
Jazz Cafe, but I didn't. We just met before this, and it was a strange night because everybody hadn't been out for 18.
Yeah, for a long time. It's true.
And I know people that came and they said, I didn't come and say hello, I stood at the bar, because I'd never seen that many people for 2 years.
Yeah. It was nice. I remember. Even on the rafters there, I saw it.
The DJ was fantastic. It was like I've never been out in my life, you
Tara,
know.
were you there?
I was there, yeah, but there was so many people there, wasn't there?
So we're hopefully doing some more.
Kurt Brandon was there.
Yeah.
I got a picture of Kurt as well. Yeah.
I don't know how I missed you.
Yeah.
That's such a shame, but it was an incredible show, wasn't it? And I loved the fact that there was all ages there. There was young people, you know, it wasn't just one age group, it was a massive mixture and lots of young people. It was an incredible sound that you made with Adrian, I thought.
Well, he was, because he's mixing it live, which is really exciting.
Exciting.
You've become an artist of just doing that now, you know.
Yeah, hello, Adrian. I'm trying to get you to mix our new single. Yeah.
About your life now, what are you up to these days?
Well, having done, okay, so I write Survive in the Storm, right? Then I get the book launched. And then where do you go from there? Right? So you want to help people. What else can you do with this? Okay, this is tangible, people can buy it. But then what can you do? And then it was offered to me by a good friend of mine from the 1980s. She used to be like the maitre d' at all these kind of like 80s clubs. She's now turned into a counselor. And she said to me, Jen, love your book, man. Come on, help us do something for this counseling thing. You'd be perfect. And what it was is it was a little kind of place called, it's a charity called 1 in 4 that helped adults that had been sexually abused and still unable to get out of that in their minds, and any forms of trauma. And they said, Jen, you know, you'd be brilliant, you know, and would you be our ambassador? So I said, look, if I'm going to be an ambassador, I'm usually hands-on. I don't want to be just an ambassador in writing. You know, that doesn't mean anything to me. You know, so I want to be a hands-on. So give me a little something to do. So it was my opportunity then to create, and here's one I prepared earlier, something called Show and Grow, which is the extension of Surviving the Storm. And within this, it's all about, you see there, survival. It's all about survival. And it's a workbook for all these people that had come to this place. And I'd never done anything like it before. And it was so successful. When I saw the feedback, I just sat at the edge of my bed and cried. But we had these people laughing, joking. There was only one thing wrong with the feedback, and they said it wasn't long enough. The program wasn't long enough. We had so much fun. So now I'll be doing quite a few more. I was going to do some more, but then COVID hit. No one could go to any venues, this, that, and the other. But I'm just working out the new ones now. This is another one I'm working on, and it's all about survival again. But we talk about just the I. I use that's another thing. By the way, it's all it's like an anagram kind of thing. So this month would be I work on the eyes. Now let me see what I've got. I haven't looked at this for a while, so it's going to be quite embarrassing if I get it bloody wrong. You know what I mean?
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay. So I invest, intention, inside, image, imagination, ideas, intuition, involve, and information. There's so much to talk about that on a level, you know, on itself, but in relation to what it is that they've gone through, in order to be able to, because I always marry whatever it is that I've created to whatever it is that they've gone through.
Right, cool.
In terms of like trauma, it's usually just about the trauma thing. But we've all been there, and everybody, you know, when I first arrived there, you know, there's some people that were in a bit of a bad way, and I just thought, oh my God, you know, this is going to be very hard, you know? And very hard for the people, and very hard for me. But I'm just gonna get some divine, you know, whatever, and we're gonna do this, and we did it. And we had so much fun that they've not stopped speaking about it. And I will definitely be working with them again.
Well,
excuse me a moment. My phone is going. I'm just going to turn it off.
In this place, I'll just shut the window.
It's good.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. Sorry about that, guys. I
Not
did
a
not
problem.
realise.
Shut the window because a bit cold.
No, because we get a bit nervous and then we get hot and then we open the window.
God bless you.
Oh, right. So talking about that. So that is raising the vibration. I mean,
Yes.
when you talk about
Yes.
And some.
laughter is like, you know,
Healing the
thank
vibration.
God.
That really is. The thing is, Segs, right? What happens is you're in a situation like that. You've never done it before. You try your best to make it work. Well, we didn't even try. We didn't even try. We were having so much fun. And as an artist, I wrote the whole program like I would a song. You know, the intro, the chorus, the bridge, the middle eight, the thing again, and then the end, you know, the tops and the tails and everything in between.
Balance. Yeah. And I wanted to ask, so
natural.
when you take that back, that moment when you're sitting there thinking, God, this is going to be heavy,
Yeah.
and you know, ask for divine intervention or whatever you want to call it. But I was going to ask you at that point, did you do anything to protect yourself? You know, because sometimes you can take that negativity on as well, but it seemed like you just raised it and then it didn't even touch you. You know, but did you feel, did it pain? Did you feel
tainted by it afterwards?
Did you remain pain?
Yeah. No, I did not. Well, because the vibration in the room was raised so much. This is a bunch of people who, when I came through the door, there was one lady, she was shaking so hard.
Yeah.
I just thought, right, we're going to have like the first 20 minutes here, and we're going to have a nice little coffee. We're going to start with a coffee moment, and everybody get to know each other, little network and everything else. And you know, I pulled the lady to one side and just said, look, you know, you can sit at the front, and if you feel that you want to leave any moment, and no one will ask any questions, everything else. So everyone was made comfortable. Everyone was made comfortable. You have to do that. It's very important. And so you have to have some form of empathy and compassion. And having been through all the things that you've read in that book, and some that you haven't, I have an understanding of how to treat people and make them feel comfortable. Thank God. You know? Great. So what happened was everybody came in the room, not one person left, not one. And I was expecting at least 2 or 3, the ones that were shaking, but one left. In fact, the one that was shaking the most was asking the most questions. She's like, run around, everybody. He's like, oh, come on, then let's go. You know, and oh boy, did we have some fun. You know, and I remember when I wrote the whole thing, something in my mind, which is my intuition, which I work quite a lot. My intuition is my best mate, and this is the esoteric stuff, Sex, you know. And my intuition says, change it. Yeah. And I'm like, what? What the hell are you talking about? Change it. And it's like, no, change it. We need more pictures. Yeah. So I don't know if have you ever heard of this thing called Pachacucha? No. Right. So what it is, it's like imagery. You can just take lots of imagery, and you because I did an awful lot of icebreaking stuff first. That's nice to get people involved all together. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I was always mindful of everybody joining in, not just leaving a couple of people here. No, we all join in and we all have some fun with this stuff, you know. And whoever wants to do it, do you know, everybody came up the front in the end to do this to do this Patrick. I couldn't believe it. I just thought, well, only about 5 or 6, and the people were crying. The stories they were coming up with, the images and stuff. It was hilarious. I didn't even know. And so and then someone had gone past the room to say, well, what's going on here? You know, because this is not the kind of group that are sitting here laughing and joking. And the owner was like, come in, have a watch. And it was just us, just having so much fun. And you know, and it was from there on, I just thought, this is what I'm going to do with the rest of my life.
Brilliant. So can you tell us, it sounds like an incredible course. I haven't actually heard of anything like that available for people that have been abused and sexually abused. How long is the course that you did, and how many people can go on it?
Well, this one was this because I'm the ambassador for 1 and 4. This was just a tryout.
Okay, was it just one day or a weekend?
No, it was just one day. It was the one day
workshop.
But I mean, I already, if you think this was the first one, the initial one, and then this is the second one I'm supposed to be doing very shortly. Yeah. Which is like we work on this is just one out of the word survival. How many words are in survival? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's like a week in a day. A week in a day is the course.
How do people? Can you send us the details afterwards?
Yeah, please.
Of course I will. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds amazing, because it, you know, There's
Yeah,
more
well,
people out there that need this than meets the
definitely.
eye.
Yeah, they do.
And are they called 1 in 4 because 1 in 4?
No, 1 in 4 of the people that are counsellors to for people that have been sexually abused.
Right.
I
Okay.
think it's literally just for that one, you know, that one thing. They usually have real kind of problems with the. When I say problems, I'm talking about that it's pretty hardcore, you know.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, they're
Too
lovely
hardcore
people.
for most people's
Yeah,
hearing, you know, in
don't-
this nice fluffy world.
yeah. But also, I'm the ambassador for CFL, which is an offshoot of that, and they are more the kind of counsellors that do what I do, which is the hands-on stuff, and not so. I mean, obviously they're going to do the paperwork and the academic stuff, but I'm not an academic, even though I've written a book. No, I'm more kind of like a realist.
Yeah.
You know, and what you see is what you get, and this is how we get out of it, and this is how we do it, you know. But I've done it in a way that's so creative, using like music and poetry as a tool in order to be able to help to educate.
Yeah. Great.
Fantastic. And you feel that this is what you're going to be doing more of next?
Oh, 100%. 100% in my lifetime, this is what I want to do. I mean, obviously, I'm going to marry the music and also have that kind of stuff as well going on. It isn't just a cut and dry program. It also involves poetry. It also involves creativity in there. I'm a creative artist, why wouldn't it? You know, so it very much encourages people to do what I'm doing, to stand there and speak your truth, and do it in a way that you feel comfortable in. We had one guy, when I think about it, it makes me choke up and cry. And he's an Irish guy, and he's obviously had gone through the wars as a child, and this and another thing. And he's a wonderful man. And he and I have this poem. It's a 4-minute poem. I don't know if you've read it in there. Anyway, so it's a 4-minute poem, and it's the story of my life and what I've been through, and like some of the abuse, and then coming out the other side, and then to the end of it, where I talk about show and grow being my legacy of love. That's the thing I'd like to leave the planet, is show and grow as a legacy of love. And I meant that, you know. And it's like a 4.5 minute thing. Anyway, this chap, he was asking me question after question after. I said, hold on. I said, look. I said, all the answers will be within this poem. I said, I promise you, if inside this poem after I've recited it is not, it doesn't give you the answers. Anyway, so I'm speaking the poem and everything else, and it's quite daunting. Do you know what I mean? 4.5 minutes long. First of all, you got to remember all the lyrics, because you've got no beats behind you, nothing.
No.
Then you're in front of a bunch of people you've never met before. You're like, okay, just let me get through the end of it. But I did it. I practiced and I did it. But halfway through, I looked at this guy, and he was in tears. And that was it for me. Done. That was the done deal. I just thought, nah, I want to do this with my life. I want to help you, everybody around the world.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Fantastic.
That's beautiful.
That really is beautiful. And did you think that would come out of it when you were piecing your book together?
No.
You had no idea. Look what beauty came out of you doing that. Just show him. It should be encouraging for everyone that has a story. You do something for good, and look what comes out of it. You noticed another talent you had.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't even know I could write a book. I didn't even know. I think it's a great book, but a lot of people like it. It's helped a lot of people.
Powerful though. I remember when I was 16, I don't know if you read a book called Women Who Love Too Much.
I have, yes.
So I read that when I was 16, and it really helped me at that stage, because I was in care and stuff. And
you were in care as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, till I was 19. I was put under an emergency care order. So I thought I would start this, in the book it says start a self-help group if you don't find one to join. So I was just 16 and I put an advert in the paper and started this group, and I had about 10, 12 people.
You see how many people come to that already? You know,
all ages sitting in my
Yeah.
room telling their story, and it was fantastic. It was absolutely incredible. It went amazingly, but I was just too young to deal with it all.
Yeah.
So, you know, going back to what you're doing, you know, it's very difficult if you've been sexually abused or abused in any way to just talk about it with normal people, especially in such a fake society where every day you put on a nice face on Facebook or social media. It's very difficult to talk about private things. The fact that you can create a workshop that people can go to and be with someone like you that they feel they can trust, and other people, that is absolutely incredible.
It's amazing because something the doctor will tell you not to speak about, that your parents, if you have any, will tell you not to speak about, that any elder will tell you, oh, you know, especially coming from the age we come from, you know, it's like, oh, you don't talk about that. So it's brilliant because, you know, it needs to be exposed and people need help, you know.
Please let us know when you do your thing, because we will definitely throw our support.
Thank you. That's really kind. You know, it's like it's encouraging for the people that do turn up, because they all of a sudden can observe where they could be within their truth, within, instead of, you know, my thing is like, guys, you sit on a gold mine here. You don't seem to realize that all this stuff that's going around the head all the time, you know, could actually be used as a tool to assist somebody else that's gone through that, and you might help save somebody's life, you know, because remember, we're all here about helping, you know, and they are enthralled with it. They're like, go on then, show us then, you know, go on then. And then you show them, they're like, oh, you know, I had 3 people, I want to write a book. That's what they wanted to do. They didn't even know that they wanted to write a book until I gave them one session.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's great.
And what's it going to be like if I did eight days?
Yeah, and in a strange way, you know, the same as when you were young watching Jenny on Top of the Pops, like we all have watched. You know, I could have watched Lemmy or whatever when I was a kid.
Oh, I love Lemmy.
And, you know, and like you're still doing it. You're still being that front person.
Yeah.
And in a totally different way. But that's brilliant, man.
Yeah. Thank you.
And you're healing people who can then go, you know, who then get equipped, and then who knows what good they will then do.
It's the domino effect, Tara. That's exactly what it is. It's the domino effect, you know. My thing is, you know, many years ago, not just a while ago, many years ago, after all the life that I've had, and this is what I'm saying to you about the Top of the Pops thing, no one knew what was going on with me mentally or anything else. But, you know, you're surrounded by that world of drugs and everything else. And, you know, the demise of the band's coming soon, and all you still taking the drugs and this, that, and the other. But what do you do with that experience? You know, what do you do with it? Well, what I did with mine was, instead of doing the pity party, oh, poor me business, I'm an addict. No, I was like, okay, cold turkey, I've got to get off this stuff, right? And I did. And I did do the cold turkey too. And it was a nightmare. And but I got out the other side of the hotel. But what I did, when you make a decision in your mind, and it's a positive one for you, things happen. The law of attraction comes into play here. There you see. Yeah, the law of attraction comes into play, and all of a sudden you get offered these weird things. You know, these just weird things. And one of the weird things that I got offered was I was doing some cabaret shows, and we had the teachers. They some teachers had come down, and they're like, oh, and I was doing drug awareness poems. I don't know why I was doing them. I was just, because I just come out of being a drug addict. I thought I might as well write about drugs. That's why I don't know that. And they're like, oh, we need you. And I was like, what's going on? And they're like, you need to come in and teach in the school. And I was like, I don't think I could do that. And they're like, no, we'll pay you. I was like, we'll pay. So they were like, all of a sudden, all the ears perked up. Hello. Paying. I was like, how much are you paying then? So it was good money. I was like, on then. So I went there with my friend, who was an ex-druggie as well. And we started doing drama and role play and drug awareness programs and this, that, and the other. And I set up my own charity, of which, by the way, Adrian Sher was and Kishi was silent partners to. Have you know?
Tell me about what's your charity called?
It was called at the time Esteem.
Okay.
Esteem. Yeah. And I mentored a couple of ladies.
Yeah.
One of my young ladies was Shauna. I had a few, but she's an incredible lady. And she's then gone on to help other people as well now.
That's
you know, she's written her own book, you know, all that kind of stuff. This is what you do, you see. If I was to die tomorrow, I'd be happy. I'd be happy because I know how many people I've helped. You know, I've had lots of people. I've had I was at a Madness gig a while back, many years ago, and I had this woman, Red Jen. I was like, well, the only people that call me Red Jen are people that live in Camden, so I whittled it down to the area, right? You know what I mean? Red Jen. They call me Red Jen. Red Jen. So I was like, okay, what's going on? And then this young person comes up, and behind them is the family. So I was like, oh my goodness, who's this? So they come up, made a beeline for me, and I felt so cool because I was around all my friends. And they said, don't you remember me? I was like, well, no, remind me, right? And it would be someone that I taught at the school, drug awareness. I was like, because of you, I'm doing a radio show.
Oh,
right. Like, really? How did that happen? Like, you gave me the confidence. Remember, you told me to get up on the stage, this, that, and the other, and speak. And I was just like, wow. Did I? You forget, you know, did I?
Yeah. Well, you can't dwell on it, really. You got to just do it and move on. I mean, you know, it's great with people.
Yeah.
Look, Segs, if you're gonna do right, if you're gonna have the experience of being a drug addict, use it for a good purpose.
Yeah.
You know, I went out into the schools and did drug awareness with loads of different places. Came out the other side, got a little charity going, ended up mentoring as a result. It's like the catalyst to, you know, so the drug situation, it's your approach as a person. You know, how it's like, what you're going to do with that? You're going to sit there and be miserable, or you're going to go, right, what can I do with the experience that I've got? Hence the reason why I've done Surviving the Storm, because I think that little story that I've just told you there is in the book, you know?
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, you know, our singer, the singer of the Ruts, Malcolm Owen, died on heroin, you know. So, you know, we were only really going for a year and a half, and then he was gone. So it was like talking about in book terms, you know, you're there, you're in a band, and I'm already on page by chapter 7, the singer's dead. You know, it's like, oh my God, I forgot. And I think that, but he had some demons and problems that probably had he had help, it wouldn't have gone that far, you know. It's all. I didn't really find out what he was going through till much later when I read a book about our own band, and I didn't even realise, you know. So, you know, but we survived, and we weren't all into heroin. But I'm just saying, you know, it's great for people before they get to that point.
And that was, for you know, that was the drug that was coming in hard and fast into the country.
That was the 80s drug, wasn't it?
In 1980, it was all different.
They went to war with Iran, which is where I'm from. So I'm really aware of the problems that happened when they stopped the oil. Suddenly, loads more heroin came into the country,
and it's funny that,
and it affected a lot of the young people, including my dad. Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
You know, so,
really?
It's crazy old world.
But anyway, you got through it, and not only did you get through it, how you got through it, you've passed on. You know, you passed on the weapons that were given.
To
use that word weapons, but they can be a weapon for good.
Tools, honey.
Tools.
Tools of the trade. Tools of the trade.
I'm a bloke. We always talk like weapons.
Tools of the survival trade. I mean, you know, I think, you know, we should one day, if we get a little chance to actually meet up and
we have to.
Let's do this. See if we can create a little something. That we can actually put out there for the people that will give them a little hand. You know, right. I mean, I'm already talking to the pair of you now. I've already come up with a couple of ideas. So
brilliant. Well, we're going to do some stuff with Adrian as well, and you know, that's all. You know, it's all coming full circle.
Tell us what you're doing with Adrian, because you've done some music with him, haven't you?
What? No, well, Adrian, he'll be like, if a scar thing is going on, Jen, coming out, we do the scar thing.
Rather meditate where the vibe is great and there is no one out there trying to tell me what I've got to be and what they think I should wear. Rather read a book than get
yourself hooked on some weird attraction. Can't you all see that your home TV is a weapon of mass distraction? Yeah, not me. I don't watch TV. No, no, not me. I don't watch TV. No, no.
So of course we do a couple of. What was the last thing I did with it was a Madness in Butlins or something, one of these places, and then so we had a little fun there. But he's always like, no, I think the last thing was the Azores. Just off fun. Have you been to the Azores with him?
No.
Oh, it's hilarious. He's got a whole thing going on down there.
Place there. No, I've not been. I don't know him
No,
that well.
beautiful.
Yeah,
It's beautiful. Yeah, there's a lovely man called Philippe, and we all just we all go down there, and it's just it's paradise. It's absolute paradise.
What about
And,
that? You mentioned
Yeah,
it.
so I've been with Adrian about 3 times.
Have you?
I was like, yeah, go on. I was just like, and so we are always hang out with them and stuff, and we just do a nice little couple of gigs. But I've got outside of that, I'm doing Bad Barbie. Do you know Elizabeth Westwood from Westworld?
No.
No.
She had a track called Sonic Boom Boy in the 80s.
Oh, I don't know.
Sonic Boom Boom Boy. You'd know it if you saw it.
Okay.
Anyway, moving on swiftly. So she's a good friend of mine. I met her at the Lex Rock gigs, and it so happens that her ex-husband is my ex-boyfriend. How odd is that? Never knew the woman in my life. How incestuous is his business? And we've been best friends ever since.
Great.
And we've got our own little radio show on TWR called Bad Barbie, of course.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
We'll put all these links up. How long has that been going?
well, I've done 8 now, so that must be 8 months, Well, Eddie Peeler's a friend of mine as well. You know Eddie Peeler from Acid Jazz?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him for years though, because I did some stuff with him
He's
with
getting talked about it
Maxi,
now, like you.
Eddie Miller with Maxi Jazz, who went on to be in Faithless, but at the time he was called Maxi Jazz, and he had this brilliant rap which was Over the Supremes. In the mirrors of my mind.
Yeah.
And so we were all hanging out with Maxi, and then we did some stuff with Maxi. Going back.
Yeah.
Well, he knows his stuff. This guy, he knows his music. Really very, very good.
I'm glad he's still around,
No, yeah. Well, he had cancer.
I thought so the other day about Acid Jazz, yeah.
Yeah, he had cancer at one point.
Did he?
But he's come through it. God love his little soul. I'm very glad to hear. And he's still got Acid Jazz, so he's still got Acid Jazz, but TWR is part of that. And he has all these DJs playing and stuff. Please come and play. So yeah. It's all good. I've got this little kind of like a friend of mine. He loves Adrian Sherwood, and he's like, Jen, I know you've done stuff with Stick McDonald and Dougie Wimbish and Adrian Sherwood. I was like, and he's like, I know you got stuff on the shelf. I was like, and he said, please can I put it out? I'm like, go on then. Go on then, because I'm not going to do nothing with it. I just write for laughs.
Yeah.
I'm a prolific songwriter.
That's how much you get in it.
Yeah.
So if someone sends me a track, I write. I write with them.
That's good.
Tell us about that song "Powers That Be" that came out in just June 21.
Oh, that's on Quick Fix. The powers that be. Well, it's all about the powers that be, isn't it? It's all about what's going on with the or should I say the powers that shouldn't be?
Yeah.
Anyway, and that possibly won't be for very much longer. Yeah.
I'm filling your mind with hatred.
I just felt the need, to use my natural kind of like art as a tool in which to make people aware of certain circumstances that were going on with the deep state. And I'm very down that rabbit hole. Much to the disgust of some of my friends that think I've got like 20 heads. They get triggered. So sometimes I just don't bother. I just say, because they get triggered. All of a sudden you say something and they make it personal to themselves. Well, you shouldn't have. And it's like, hold on a minute, I just put up a comment and it's got nothing to do with what you're talking about. All that kind of stuff happens. You're like, oh, so in fact, I had 2 Facebooks and they were both overwhelming. They were like 5,000 each. You can only have 5,000. And I ended up just getting rid of them, both of them, because I couldn't help myself with I had like political Tourette's. Do you know what I mean? Political. I was like, as soon as I'd be a rant here and a rant there. And all of a sudden I thought, this is not really good for the soul. So I dropped a lot of them. Obviously lost quite a few thousand friends. And then just put up a Jenny Bellstar site that's just music. But the other day I couldn't help myself. It just another little political rant came in. It was just a little meme. And I have got slated.
We both try, I suppose, to sort of intertwine them with lyrical stuff in new songs, rather than, we talk about it all the time, but I don't do it so much on Facebook and everything, because like you say,
you can't anymore, really.
No.
Stop these days, you just get stopped. You can't even say anything, but
yeah.
I do say, like I said at the Jazz Cafe, I said, "What I promise, I won't speak anything about Priti Patel." Oh dear, and then
not so Priti Patel, you mean?
No, exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway, after about 6 gigs, I stopped using the name. I felt like I was invoking the devil.
No, it's true. It's true. I've been at a Madness gigs and Suggs can't help himself. He can't help himself. And then he'll have this, everything's jolly around, and all of a sudden it'll be like slip of the tongue, because he's a really good speaker for Suggs. And he slips out the tongue and talks about something.
He's out again now, isn't he? But I went to see his one-man show. I saw it in Hastings, actually.
Oh, was he?
This was a while ago, but I couldn't stop. I didn't stop laughing. I know it sucks because we hang out sometimes, but he's very hard to get hold of. But I played with him a bit in the Danger Men with all of those Madness boys. It was great. And I was at the time, I think I was 55, and they treated me like the new boy. And I said, look, I know you all take the piss out of me, but I'm 55 years old. I said, I ain't going to be treated like the new boy. That's them. They're funny, not on them. Great.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
Eugene from Viva La Rock magazine, and we're bringing you a new band this month again, which we did last month. So this month it's going to be a band from London called 7 Days and Doesn't Die. I think there's a reference to Arnie Schwarzenegger somewhere there. But they're a rocking new band, and they are actually playing the Viva La Rock night on May 20th at the Water Rats in London with my band Desperate Measures and Tara's band, The Jewel. So it's a 3-band bill, so we hope you see you all there. Anyway, this is 7 Days and Doesn't Die, and this is gonna kill ya!
Shut us down, too close. just seems to acquire about with fear. Did it cut you, rain you in with the ever really there? On the tip of my tongue, on the tip of my tongue, 'cause I placed you there. With one crush, one feel, rush your oblivion so near. You're the notes to my favorite song, so why can't you be here? There's no rest in restitution. No love in evolution. Chasing ghosts in retribution. This was never a solution. Come back, no, once you cross the line. Once you're cut, there's no stitch in time. Like leaves of tires, they're so then we fall. Little lamb is waiting for them all. From the ground, we tear it down to start again. Through the holes, the righteous crawl back in.
Well, that was a brilliant video.
I'm liking this Viva la Rock connection.
Yeah, yeah.
good, yeah.
That was 7 days and Doesn't Die, and I look forward to playing with them at Water Rats,
Yeah, you've
20th
got
of
a
May.
gig. And we can find out about the name, perhaps,
Yeah.
because it's an interesting name. It's a good name.
Yeah, something to do with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's good. And some good stuff in this month's Viva la Rock.
Yeah, you're in it.
Well, yeah, I wasn't thinking of that, but yeah, we are. There's a review of our gig, and yeah, it's all good. And enjoying. Thank you, Eugene.
Yeah, I really
enjoying
enjoyed
this,
that, and looking
'cause-
forward to playing with Desperate Measures
Yeah,
and
all good.
7 Days and Doesn't Die at the Water Rats.
So, should we go back to the interview? 'Cause
Yeah.
it's getting hotting up now.
Definitely.
All right.
Hope
So-
you're enjoying it.
Yeah. So all good.
Cool.
Well, that's quite exciting.
What kind of music do you find yourself listening to now when you want to chill out? Because obviously your life is surrounded by music, but what kind of music gets you now? If any.
No, all kinds, really. I mean, I love, as a lyricist, and as a lyricist that speaks about stuff that's going on now and what's happening. I really love Tom McDonald. I think he's brilliant.
Tom McDonald's.
Yeah.
Do you know
Don't
him?
know, don't know.
No, I don't
Yeah,
know.
he's unbelievable. He talks about all kind of subjects, well, basically the deep state, you know. So I like anybody that I like anyone on that level.
Yeah.
I think is it hip hop? I suppose it is, I guess. And but I also like old style music. You know, I really like. I'm a DJ for TWR, and every month we've got a different theme. You know, obviously our program fell on Valentine's Day, so of course I've got to play the old style tunes from in the 40s and 50s, which I love, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I like doo-wop, I like soul, I like, you know,
Yeah.
jazz, I like everything, you know.
Me too.
I even like spiritual music, you know. So
Yeah. I came across this guy the other day, and he's just taken over his church at the bottom of the Shard. And you know they weren't doing any business on a Sunday, and he's started these gospel Sundays. So you go in and have your lunch, brunch.
see, that's another one.
Gospel choir in there. I thought I've got to go. You know, can you imagine?
Yeah.
Put me off my food. I think I'd just rather just be singing.
Churches and things. Earlier on, you said that you're quite an esoteric person. How did you get into that side? And for those listening who don't know what esoteric means, could you tell us a little bit what it is?
Well, I mean, I don't know how do I describe it? It's what the eye can't see, but it's a feeling from within, and people usually get to it. I hate to say this, but more often than not, they usually get to it through trauma. And in 1992, my boyfriend Andrew commits suicide. And it was something, I think I might put it in the book, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Book, yeah. And it was the thing that, it was the catalyst that got me, because I was either going to die, which is what I wanted to do, or I was going to live, which is what I'm still here to tell tale. So obviously you see the choice. And I was asked to go to this Buddhist center. I've never been to a Buddhist center before. And I went over, and my friends, you know, had become nuns and monks, and I was like, okay, whatever. But my whole body was depleted, and I just wanted to. I wanted to give up, you know. And then I saw this new world, this brand new world where the people were meditating and they were doing all kinds of stuff, and I even liked the music. I was like, what the hell is this? And then and it was just an odd world. And this was in Scotland. But it could have been anywhere. It could have been in Nepal or something, because it was right in the middle of nowhere. And it was so nice. And I remember being there for about a month to recuperate. And because I was very close to suicide myself. And I came back. And it was soon after that I did, you know, I did the drug awareness, you know, in schools and everything else. And I wanted to have a different life. I just thought, right, let me do something, you know, and it from there on, I never stopped. You know, I started with the self-help books and all that kind of stuff, because I hadn't really done the self-help books prior to that. Prior to that, you're just going on through life and you think you're doing well, but you're not. And then when something like that hits you, then you realize, oh my God, there's another world out there. I've never even seen it before.
Yeah.
What's going on, you know? And that happened to be the world, the world inside, which is the esoteric.
Yeah, and that's probably what led you to the Buddhist center anyway in the first place. I mean, you know, so it's the unseen, I'd say, and you can plug into it, not necessarily just through trauma, but that's one way. But I mean,
it's trauma that makes you realize there's an inside world, because it all falls apart. A lot of people find esoteric things hard to understand because and it might be because they've never had real trauma and stuff. Do you know what I mean? So you're right. Trauma is one way of recognizing, oh God, there's stuff going on that's
I mean, you know, like death,
turn it around.
I mean, you know, the trauma was this, trauma was that, but I mean, my father died and everything actually really helped me, because I actually went to this other place, and I was reading.
Well, you are naturally esoteric, darling.
I was reading the Tibetan Book of the Dead at the time.
That's the one.
I just become a hippie. Really, I started smoking dope, and Dad was dying. I took some acid, and it was like, and Ruffy, my drummer, who's still the drummer in the Ruts DC, you know, he really took me under his wing and helped me, and it was like a spiritual platform thing, really.
Yeah.
Of anybody else. But I just got taken to this other place, and I knew, and some wild things happened in that time when he died, and also in the time when my mum died as well. Some wild things happened, like just like, whoa, like just getting in a carriage on a train and then so don't get in that one, get in that one, and then sitting beside someone, and then them just talking about your mother passing on, and just just like, where did this
Aw.
person come from? So
Yeah.
I'm
I guess.
tingling.
No, but it's true. Everything you said was
Yeah,
so true.
you can't be there all the time, but it's there for. I always call it like golden rail. I always say it's like being on a tube. I see the golden rail, and when you're like this, I just say, well, look, all you've got to do is do that, and then if it's always there, you've just
Right.
be able to bring yourself to plug back in.
Yeah. But we've all got it within us. It's like
Yeah.
it's just what brings us to that place, you know.
Yeah.
And if you're going through forms of trauma, or you realize yourself that you're at the brink, of either staying on Earth or going somewhere else, all of a sudden something hits you, and this inner thing. I believe this is what I believe. Right? This is what I believe that I believe we've all been here before. I believe that we're all souls. We've all known each other before. I believe that you, Tara, you, Segs, are all kind of like we've all known each other before. We've chatted about this before. We've actually spoken about us doing this in this interview before, way before we went into the birth canal. And it's just, you've known Adrian Sherwood before. All of these things that we said that we do, and we come together as a group of people in order to be able to, help each other. Just help each other, because you need your mates around you as well. Do you know what I mean?
It does seem to take a lifetime to re-meet everybody. You go through your life, and then in your way, meeting the right people.
Yeah, but look how nice that is now. It's like
great.
It's like Tara's gone through her thing. She's gone through trauma, but her and I've got a similar thing that we've gone through. We both come from children's homes.
Yeah.
Okay. So and then and so all of these souls now are coming back to meet each other again, and in doing so, they're able to assist not only their friends, but look at this platform now. Other people will hear this, and they'll be able to kind of like, it will give some kind of credence to possibly what they might have gone through in the past.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
Definitely.
You're definitely on a higher mission, and so
Definitely.
I'm glad you didn't give in.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm glad you survived.
And it brings me nicely to
welling up there.
I know. News in from Ginger Coyote and this month's issue of Punk Globe magazine. She says the March Punk Globe, which is action-packed. The fabulous cover was done by the incomparable Floydian Device. Matthew Coleman did all the layout and coding. Shark Tank's Mark Cuban is the punk of the month. Ginger Coyote does encore interviews with a talented artist, Mark Bode. Jamel Abine, vocalist of the Blue Carpet Band from London, England. Super cool Chelsea Rose, singer for Bite and White Trash Debutantes. She also reviews Bite CD. Floydian Device and Miss Ligaya interview the Queen of Punk, Bebe Buell. Wild Sid Smith's Ruby interviews the ultra fabulous Donna Destry. Lisa Punk Our Princess talks punk with Dennis Quick of Punk Rock Chili Dog Social. Madeline Boki-Aro shares an excerpt from her book about the Queen of Scream, Yoko Ono. John Winooski interviews the talented Gail Peterson from the Catholic Girls. Astro Slut by Lacey Grayson is back. And James G. Carlson lets us know about black voices in horror literature. Go to punkglobe.com to read that and so much more. It brings me nicely to say I actually first met you at the Polyfest.
Oh yes.
So it was, Polyfest was put on for obviously polystyrene from X-Ray Specs. So and she was very much into meditation and everything, and I think I met some lovely ladies from there that I used to go and meditate in Highgate Woods when I used to live up there. That was quite nice.
Yeah.
So,
well, the people that Polly used to do the meditation with the Hare Krishnas.
Right.
And here now, here's the thing, because they're really good friends of mine, and I also help their charity. I help a charity called Food for All, where we feed where we feed 5,000 people every day, 6 days a week, unfunded, no government help at all whatsoever. Not one. And you know who helps us most? Just give you one guess who helps us most.
Adrian Sherwood.
No, Adrian actually has no, he helps us with the music and everything else. No, Adrian comes and does it all the time for us. No, the music industry. I'm the ambassador for I'm an ambassador for Food for All, but Chrissy Hind.
Yeah.
Lovely.
She's an ambassador for us. She's a wonderful lady, and she has a love for animals, so much so that we're vegan. She is a wonderful lady. And then we've had all people, the Libertines at Madness have helped us. I mean, there's loads of people that have actually gone out and helped us help other people. During COVID, all the charities got a little bit defunct because they were so overwhelmed.
Yeah,
but not Food for All. We're not Food for All. And these are the Hare Krishnas now. They're just like, no, come on, jolly hockey sticks, let's get this sorted. And we would go around to all the supermarkets, and we would be the go-to charity to go to all the supermarkets and get them to get all their stock, because they didn't know what was going on. So sometimes they'd overstock, and then it'd be like a waste. You couldn't put it in the landfills because no one was working. They're like, well, let us be the landfills. We'll take it from you. We'll turn it into something edible for those people that are poor, too poor to bloody eat. Let's go. Charities loved us, still do.
Great.
So
Okay,
tell
that
us,
sounds
so
great.
every day, 6 days a week, you're involved, you do this yourself, don't you?
Yeah, I did. We did the COVID-19. In fact, we're the only ones got the Queen's Award. Not that I really care about the Queen's Award, but it's good for the charity. It's good for the charity. It's like an MBE for the charity. Picked up in the Community Champions Awards as well, all of us. So that was quite
Camden Food for All. There are some food places like on the streets in Camden. Is that one of them? Do they help?
Right. So we have a van. We're mobile, and so what we do is we have three slots. We have like one in Kentish Town, one in Camden Town, and one in King's Cross. And we just every hour, on the hour, we go to these different places, and that's where the people come and eat.
Oh.
And we give them the food there.
Wow,
and you feed how many per day? 5,000.
5,000 people a day.
Simple
Wow,
solution.
5,000 people a day.
So
get
this is what we're
fed
talking about.
by volunteers.
Solutions.
Yeah, by volunteers. Everyone
Well,
volunteers.
everyone's a volunteer. No one person gets paid. Not one.
And they were Polly's friends, and they're your friends.
Yeah. The guy that runs it is because when Polly went, he just said, "Jenny, would you come?" I was like, "Of course I will." I think her name, Christian name was Madhurani. Yeah, and she was very much into the Hare Krishna movement, very much into it. She did a lot of stuff there, and a lot of music
beautiful.
there.
That's brilliant. It's probably time for another Polyfest as well, isn't it?
I think it is. Yeah, I think.
We played Polyfest.
You
I
did
think.
play Polyfest.
Yeah. So great.
I feel wonderful. That absolutely beautiful.
I find it kind of feel kind
Really
of
great. Yeah, I feel quite whole now.
Yeah, I do. No, it's amazing because
That's beautiful conversation.
we find each other,
Jenny.
but if we were, it's a shame we're not all in person. But hopefully we will be
next
soon.
time.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really matter because it's really worked.
Yeah.
And don't forget, this is going to be on the TV show, which is I've never seen a TV show like this. That's why we love doing it.
Yeah. I really like it. I think you've both got a little something here. Why not?
Yeah. Well, it's a small thing of change. We change certain people's lives.
And also, there's so many lies, and it's so confusing. You just, you want to get like you say, you want to get the good people together so that other people can see them and in the midst of the confusion and go, I get them. They can link invisibly.
Yeah.
Who knows? Times are uncertain, aren't they? So
yeah, exactly.
And there is that quote, the world gets destroyed by good men doing nothing or something like that. So, if we can all just do something, even if we've been pained, you're not left out because you've had pain and trauma.
And you're not alone.
And you're not alone.
Which we didn't mention, but that's what.
Even though you feel alone, you are not alone. So, yeah.
Right, I'm going to try this again. I keep forgetting the lyrics. I've only just written them. So I'm in Leicester on the way to Cambridge. Last of the gigs. And then we've got to do some postponed ones. And I've got 5 minutes. I brought this 335 along, which is I've had for quite a few years. And but Brendan, the lovely guitar tech from the Stranglers, had a look at it. So I ended up with it in my room, and I thought I'd do a song. So this one's called Pretty Lunatics. Who do you think you are? Who do you think that you've been fooling? Where do you think you've been? Where do you think that you've been going? All in all, we need you standing tall. All those pretty lunatics don't matter at all. How do you think we'll be now that the past has fed the future? Be what you wanna see. Time out of mind just doesn't suit you. All in all, we need you standing tall, 'cause all these pretty lunatics don't matter at all. So low. All these pretty lunatics don't matter at all. Say what you wanna say. Speak out of turn if they won't listen. Write what they cannot hear. Shout out the words as yet unwritten. All in all, our time on earth is small. All these pretty lunatics don't matter at all. All in all, we need you standing tall. All these pretty lunatics don't matter at all. Well, that's very real. There, go. Oh god, I suppose it's time to give up.
No.
You know, it's been cancelled for postponed for 2 years. But of course, you get on there, and it's just like it's 2,000 people a night. You know, and you think, well, actually, if you're going to sing, you better have your intention right. You know what I mean? Because they're listening to you, and you've got this. It's not a power thing, but you know, you're singing.
Yeah.
It's like it's a message in it. So. It's good, especially what we sing about.
It's a message the way you do it. There's a power.
And even if anything you say, you better have your intention correct, because people are waiting for what you say, which is what you're saying about what you've been doing, which is very empowering, actually. So although you do get exhausted, but because we're trying to save money, you know, on the days off, because we're Stranglers, they have like 2 days off a week. So you do 2 gigs, then a day off. And so for us, it's really difficult to make ends meet, you know, so we've been coming home. But that's been really good, because it means I've been home about 5 times instead of getting home completely like at the end of this, you know, you come home, you know, like you can't talk to anyone.
No. Yeah, I know that feeling.
Audience. No, it's an enjoyable experience. It's good. So that's good.
So guess what? We made it in Viva La Rock.
Oh, hello.
Yeah,
great.
This month, Viva La Rock, and there is a section saying about Viva La Rock versus FFRUK TV.
Oh, great. That's good.
And the monthly online music and discussion TV channel, FFRUK TV.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's basically says
We're
that
gonna be
you're on the
famous.
show, Jenny.
Huh?
it actually says you're going to be on the show.
Woo.
Yeah, and the topic of discussion will be alien life.
Alien life.
Didn't tell me that.
By the way, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
So
I can talk about all subjects.
we've got this section of the show called It's Debatable. Now, obviously, and you know, in that section, we want to talk about alien life. It's something. Well, you know, when I spend time on my own, I seem to just go into another world, you know, and I'm always looking at aliens and gods and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, and more people are saying aliens exist. You're getting famous people saying they exist. And it's like they're getting us ready for an alien invasion in a way. At least.
But the alien invasion that they're getting us ready for is a false flag.
Okay.
That's actually a false flag, even though aliens do exist, and but it's just about their agenda and their fear mongering to the people on the planet. Do you know what I mean? This is what I'm thinking. This is what I feel as I know, and so
you've heard it as well. You've heard it as well that, you know, there's
I put the post up 2 years ago on Facebook, and so I'm waiting from, you know, because, you know, if you know anything about the deep state cabal, you know that they've got some toys to play with, and one of them is the alien invasion. I mean, if you look and see how they've manipulated the weather, with HARP, with the thing HARP they do, and they've done all kinds of stuff in order to be able to change a narrative to suit their own. Then you'll also find that the alien invasion is going to be one of those things. But yes, aliens do exist. Look, if the Vatican had the biggest, telescope in the whole world, and it was pointed at the moon or pointed at wherever, what was that for? It wasn't to look at the stars and to see how bright they were. It's because they are in tune with the alien race. You know, I also believe that the alien race is part of the pyramid, and that is at the top of the pyramid. So the people don't see that, but we are being controlled by an alien race. I honestly believe that. And that alien race is called the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki never left. It just went into hollow earth and then and come back. If you ever read a book by a guy called Zachariah Sitchin, you ever read it?
No.
Unbelievable. The Lost Book of Enki. There you go, guys. The Lost Book of Enki. That will teach you an awful lot about how the origins of the Anunnaki and our existence as the human race.
It's quite mental, actually, isn't it?
Yeah.
That you actually know all that, and it's not on, you know, it's not on TV, it's not on anything.
Well, they don't want you to put it. They don't want you to put it on anything because they are actually working with the alien race. They've been working with the alien race since way before Roswell. So Roswell, if you think like Hitler, and you know they've got a place off planet, and they've also got a place in Atlantis. Is it Atlantis? Yes, it's Atlantis, where you see those movies like what's the one, The Men in Black. Every single movie that we see is prophetic. It's owned by the deep cabal, right? But it's actually a reality. It's the law of the universe that they are not allowed to show something to the people. No, they're not allowed to do something unless they show it to the people and the people accept it. So what do? They created Hollywood, right? And Hollywood is a way that people will accept their nonsense. And one of those things is when they do these alien programs and everything else, they're actually real. The storyline is actually a real storyline. You know, you look at Elysium. Elysium's got med beds in it. Where do the med beds come from? The med beds come from spacecraft. You know, these med beds, by the way, are going to be used for.
What's a med bed? Sorry.
It's a quantum healing med bed.
Wow, quantum healing med bed.
Wow, you've got to look that up. It's gonna blow your mind. You thought aliens would now. Listen, they're gonna blow your mind, honey. Listen, these med beds are going to be taking over all of the whole of the health system. If you Tara had lost your limbs in a motorbike accident or whatever, you could go onto these med beds and they'd be regenerated. And how that works is through the mind, through memory and mind and heart coherence.
Wow.
Through within the quantum field.
Do
I
these
mean, there's so much people don't know about, and
Yeah.
it's because it's been hidden from them. Or you know, I'm a bit of a train spotter when it comes to the esoteric world and the alien races, because I've got nothing else better to do in my life. I've got no children, so I've got nothing to stop me from, you know, being well read and you know, and going as deep as I can down rabbit holes, you know. This is why I have the kind of like political Tourette sometimes, you know. It's because I'm like, I know all this shit, and then you think, oh, shut up, then calm down. Everyone thinks you're mad anyway, so don't do it. So so you're left all alone, you know, and then what? Then all of a sudden up pops a program like this that actually wants to actually talk about it. So
that's great. That's great.
That is. I mean, yeah. Oh God, I was just going to say something then about aliens. I
thought we were the aliens, actually. I thought
we
were
may
already
be. Oh yeah.
no, we are. No, we are.
Yeah. You know,
This is how it happened.
do you know about the Book of Enoch?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So it's in it's in the Ethiopian Bible, isn't it? The Book of Enoch, but they cut it out of the
Maccabees Bible,
the Western Bible or whatever it is.
Well, they cut
it's
a lot
called
out of the Western Bible.
Yeah, cut a lot out. And in Enoch, it all talks about an alien race basically coming down and helping, you know, people with medicine and farming and all sorts of things. So it is quite incredible to think that we've got an incredible, you know, who are we, where we come from? We've come from something pretty mental. And
we were made as a slave race in order for the Anunnaki to mine gold, because on their planet they needed gold within the atmosphere to keep their planet alive. And so you have to read that book, the Lost Book of Enki by Zachariah Sitchin. Fantastic book.
So yeah, so what we want to find out, because you've got another book about it talks about Yahweh. So you know, what I need to do is link Anunnaki and Yahweh and like all these to try and link it all together, because I met a wizard once in San Francisco, and he basically said the truth is like a mirror that's been shattered over the years, and it's up to you to go and find all those shattered bits and put it together again, and when you put it together you see yourself, you see
right.
And Anunnaki, then Yahweh, all these names, and just trying to not be afraid and bring them all together, and somehow probably together we'll find the answer, won't we?
Yeah.
It's like, for example, I was reading.
They're all part, they're all intertwined with each other.
They're all intertwined.
This is nothing to do with it really, but I'm just reading a nice bit of light reading.
Yeah.
Great picture of Mr. Pickles.
Yeah.
Dead asleep on it. But it's not that deep, actually. It's quite humorous.
The Lost Book of Enki. Okay, well, we may develop this with you. So you believe there are aliens? 100%.
Are you crazy? Why would we honestly believe that we were the only ones on Earth? Where do you think the mobile phones come from? Where do you think all this like technology comes from? We didn't create that. The alien races created that and gave it to us as gifts in order for us to be able to give them something. And what we gave them, well, what was given to them by the military were people, because they wanted people to experiment on. So there's an awful, and animals. And so there's an awful lot of animals and people go missing each year because they are constantly, they're good aliens, they're bad aliens. The one, the ones that aren't so good are the ones that are bloodthirsty. And I think
rip up the cows, isn't it? The ones that go and eat the cows. And
yeah, I actually wonder about that. I actually wonder if because also the military like to put you off the scent.
Yeah.
And so they create stuff themselves. So you have to kind of really watch out what that might be. You know?
Yeah, I mean, they do like to keep the fear going.
Yeah. Oh, they love it. Love a bit of fear porn. Love it.
About love over fear, really.
Love over fear.
Your...
And the other thing you said, your instinct saved your life. You know, you said that, and you think of esoteric and like Anunnaki or aliens are telepathic.
Yes.
They got the telepathy thing going on. We've got empathy, and you know, who knows, these gifts. Maybe.
Yeah, they have the telepathy going on. We had that, and our strands will be coming back to us because we had the 12 helix strands, and then we ended up with, like, was it 2 or 3? You know, they want to take those away from us because but what the Anunnaki, what we have over the Anunnaki is love. They don't have that.
Wow.
You know? They don't. That's the one tool that they don't have, that they would love to have, but they do not have it. They are cold as ice. So all of the people, usually the people that are running our planets and everything else, they are the psychopaths. They're actually, you know, psychopaths.
Yeah.
And they don't have a soul. They don't have souls. They have no empathy, no souls, and so we have love, empathy, compassion, and the light will always win over the darkness. So very, very soon we're going to see all of these nasties getting out of the door. Yeah. They're going off planet, and goodbye to them for 1,000 years of peace. And then what we're going to have involved in the future this year, we're going to be rolling out all of the quantum healing med beds, and it will be taking over the whole of the this is the alien technology. This is proper alien technology, and at first it's going to be run by the military, and then it's going to be given to those doctors that actually care about people, not the ones that were, like, you know, forcing everybody to take stuff. And we're just going to have a whole new world, and eventually, much in the way that we had TVs, you know, before we had TVs, no one could imagine people moving around in a little box. Who's like, oh, that's all cat weasel to me, you know what I mean? Do you remember cat weasel? It's all cat weasel, you know. Oh, I don't want, no, you got to be, no. But now, of course, now we've got mobile phones, and we've got this, and we can talk, and it's ridiculous all the things that we can do. But we can do so much more, and it's been hidden from us. But it was an alien race that wanted us, the good aliens wanted us to progress further. We've been held back by the deep state and the dark side, who are in touch with the alien races. There's some working for us, some working not for us.
Yeah. I didn't know the Anunnaki didn't have love, which makes me think that the Anunnaki didn't create us, because we were created with love. If they don't have love, then it didn't come from them.
Right. Okay, so
you know, that's just a thought.
Well, no, you don't have to have love.
If you read the Lost Book of Enki, it's only small. Yes. It will tell you a lot about where we've come from.
Okay.
You know, it really will tell you a lot. Yeah. That
is the next step on the path.
I think John Lydon was right when he said Anunnaki in the UK.
Yeah.
I had to say.
Like
Yay!
Yeah, cool.
Wow, well, that's been absolutely amazing. Thank you, Jenny, for coming on the show.
Well, we didn't really know, you know, it's my day off, my first day off. We do this once a month, and Jenny on the show, we talked about that. I said, okay, well, I don't know what I'm going to say, because, you know,
he's always got something.
You haven't stopped talking.
No, I know. It's always like that. And we sat down, and I said, no, we both went, I think this is going to be really good. So, and it is.
Yeah, it's been really delightful. And we hope to see you in the real life as well. Yeah.
Well, when we do meet up, and we all celebrate, like, you know, the last 2.5 years of madness, which will be like, you know, we're going to get back into our world again, because we are. And it's not going to, people say, oh, it's going to go back to normal. No, it's not going to go back to normal. It's going to go back to better. It's going to be better than normal. 100% without, you know, yes, we've lost a few people, you know, but out of that, we've formed something really beautiful, and let's hope that we can keep the compassion that we had as a result of all the things that we've seen and all the kind of like the misery that's been caused over the last 2.5 years. Keep
Definitely.
hold of that, you know.
It's I spoke to my daughter today, and her boyfriend's got COVID. She had COVID. Her friend's got COVID. Everybody's getting it, and it's not serious now. You know, it's just like a cold, really. But whatever you think about it, was less another whole other subject. But it's certainly tapering off, and I've been out there, and it's pretty good. You know, I felt really privileged to be. The people were just mad coming out to gigs. They haven't been out to a gig, you know. There's all these people there. It was mad. And it was actually.
It was great.
Actually, in the time, I got very in the lockdown. I got quite disappointed in mankind, as I often do, with the way they're all behaving, and got quite selfish. But it was lovely to see a crowd of people actually appreciating a band and being out. And I thought, you know, I quite like this race, really. I do.
No, it is.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with this. It's just the people that are running the country got to get rid of them. You know?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So,
now, who would I start with?
And there are better ways of bringing up a human race. Much better ways of bringing up a human race.
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be like this.
Evolution.
You know, there's enough food and enough money to go around, really. They just won't allow it because of control.
If we put all our energy into positive things, we'd probably all be flying off to other planets and, you know, doing all sorts of incredible
Well, funny you should mention that. Flying off to other planets. That's the plan. In your lifetime.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to be doing. It is. It's true.
Well, it looks like just a few are going the rate they're going.
Yeah, well, we're talking about Kirk.
No. When you're talking about the few, no. We're talking about every single person on the planet if they feel like they want to go to that place. Not talking about like your Virgin Records and all that.
Yeah.
No. This is proper going interplanetary, where the people, you know, people like Richard Branson, who's actually not a very nice guy to be honest, and you probably won't like me saying that.
I've heard that a few times.
No. Well, I can't really say it on your show because you'll probably get done, I'll probably get done. But just watch events closely, and it's not a very nice thing that he's done to people. So you'll watch it, and how they get their money, the Bezos and all these kind of people in the world, they won't be on the planet for very much longer. That's what I'm saying.
Well, look, hopefully our show will be here every month, so you can come and tell us more.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Yeah. If you want to talk about aliens, I'm your girl.
Excellent. Well, that's probably how it's going to be. Excellent. Okay. If people want to get a hold of you from this show, what's the best website for them to come to?
I think not even a website. Just go to Facebook, Jennie Bellstar. JENNIE Bellstar, BELLESTAR, and the same with Instagram.
Excellent.
I've been banned from everywhere else. I've been banned. They ban me all the time.
We got banned the other day, didn't we? But
No, well, I've been banned from live streaming and all sorts of things from Facebook. So this will go out on YouTube. It's a much better idea anyway.
Try and get Rumble as well, because like if they take you off, you know what I mean? Just in case.
Who?
Rumble,
what's that?
Rumble. I'll email it to you.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Cool. Because then, the thing is, these are the alternative sites that no longer are being censored, and so you kind of need to catch up on whichever ones those are.
Rumble sounds good then.
Rumble is brilliant. Rumble's everybody. BitChute, Rumble.
Yeah,
and brand new YouTube as well.
Cool.
Brilliant.
Well, thank you, Jenny.
You're most welcome.
And what can I say? I'm glad you survived.
Thank you. You're here to tell the tale, baby, man.
Yeah, that's great.
And we'll keep coming and getting more updates off you, because what you're doing is a bit of a mission and a destiny calling. So we'd love to tell people about it again.
Thanks, darling.
Thank you.
Right, you look after yourself, guys. Thank you. Lovely to speak to you both.
We're going to meet up soon, us guys. So.
Yeah, 100%. You know what's going to happen when we do. We're not going to be bloody stop talking.
Well, you know me. I'm
or something.
Not quite.
Yeah. All
right.
Great.
See you soon.
See you later. Ta-ra.
Well, that was pretty wacky and interesting.
That was I really feel good now. That was a really good conversation with Jenny there.
Now, it was strange talking about the aliens because back to Vive la Rock, they put in that we got Jennie Matthias on the show and we were talking about aliens, which wasn't always the plan. But
it was going to be the That's Debatable section.
Yeah, but interesting, and I think everyone's entitled to their opinion, and we've all got our opinion. But
yeah,
I was thinking, yeah, I mean, people go, well, that can't be right and all that, and then you think, I'm sure if you read the Bible, that can't be right either. It's ridiculous. So some people walking down the street still waiting for Jesus to walk around the corner, but also, you know, a white Jesus with piercing blue eyes, and it's, you know, so it's all kind of pretty ridiculous.
And it is exciting that, you know, we've got the opportunity to find stuff out these days.
Yeah,
we don't have to live
great.
in the dark if we don't want to.
It's great to
Some people like not knowing anything.
They do, and it's good to be able to discuss things without getting
upset,
beheaded, hung,
or beheaded, yeah,
or strung up, or anything,
yeah,
or shot. I mean, we do at least live in a fairly free society. Whether it's really free is another question.
It might be just a mirage of freedom, but at least it's better than nothing.
Well, the freedom that we're
a lot worse.
The freedom that we're allowed is better than no freedom at all, I suppose.
Exactly.
But it's still worth
grateful.
digging. Get to know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was really interesting.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed episode 7. We're gonna move forward in probably a different way going forward, aren't we? We're gonna try and do more of these.
Yeah, I think doing the Zoom thing with Jenny. I think we could do one in between. So because when we go down to the studio, the courthouse, we've got to get it down there and set everybody up, and we've got.
It is a whole day's operation.
It's a whole day's work and much more prep and crew, and yeah, it's a big thing, but which is fine to do. So that's why we do it once a month, but because everyone's a bit busy as well. But so we can maybe do a bi-weekly one to start with, and and if everyone's interested, we can do it weekly because we can do the Zooms from home, you know. So yeah, keeping it going. And you know.
And what are you up to this week, Segs?
I'm going to the studio actually, because there's nothing. If you're in a band, there's nothing like playing every night to make yourself. You just get better, whether you want it or not. So it was at the beginning of the tour, pretty rusty. I was. Halfway through the tour, everything's working, the diaphragm's working, the voice gets better, your playing gets better, playing between the band gets better. So we're going to go, we're planning on making another album anyway, but we've chosen to strike while the iron's hot and go straight in. Now we went in straight away actually for a couple of days, but for a day, and it didn't really work out due to various equipment malfunctions. So we put it back to this week, and we'll be working in London, and yeah, we've got 8 and more tracks ready to kind of go.
Brilliant.
For a new album. So hopefully that's going to be released in November. And to do that, we have to finish that very early on because it takes to do vinyl now, it takes 6 months. So yeah, lots of things changing.
Song that we played, that we fitted in.
Oh yeah, today.
Pretty Lunatics.
Pretty Lunatics.
That's off the new album, isn't it?
Well, it'll be with the band. It's kind of a psychedelic, but I just did that in the hotel room basically because I was just it's self-explanatory.
Something to do.
It was something. I thought it'd be really easy, but it wasn't.
No,
it wasn't. I had to do about 3 takes of it because I was sitting in there and I kept mucking it up basically because I've only just written the lyrics for it, and without the rest of the band, it's more difficult. But you know, it'd be interesting to see how that develops.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So if you enjoyed the show, please remember to hit subscribe on the channel so it'll be easier to tell you about future ones. Yeah.
Are you doing more music? You've got a lot of good things.
I'm trying to...
amazing, I can't get out.
Yeah, it's exciting writing new songs. You also have to be a caretaker of your old songs. I've got some new vinyl out for the dual soundtrack to the End of the World. Zach Splash Story, a new version, which
you're going to put a link up for that?
Is pretty amazing. It's not out yet. It's going to be out in a couple of months.
Okay, well,
but yeah, we've done a song together that really is quite powerful and of the moment, definitely.
Yeah.
As
everything has to be.
Right now. So there's a lot of music in the air, and hopefully just get more time to record them and share them here.
So I suppose, you know, the catchphrase during our catchphrase at least in the lockdown, which now mysteriously is all over, stay safe and stay sane. But I think it stays safe, certainly. Give thought to your brothers and sisters without pointing the finger at anyone, and get to know what you don't know. Educate yourself, because all is not what it seems. I don't think.
No. All right.
Okay.
Well, see you again, and
Yeah,
stay
thanks
safe.
for joining us one more time, and yeah, we look forward to chopping all these together one of these days, and getting a very cohesive set of videos. It'd be great. But
They're all going to go on YouTube anyway. Aren't
yeah,
they?
because
So-
we've moved to YouTube really from Facebook, which is a whole other question, because you may have seen some of the things where they stop the audio and everything. It's a nightmare.
Yeah, it's very
It's actually a
difficult.
nightmare. And the thing is, just bringing it up quickly, you know, they Facebook, all of them, YouTube, they all protect the copyright of the artist. But I am an artist, and I know that they're not protecting it for me. They protect it like there's this big pot of gold that the artist is going to get. But you know how much the artists actually get? We may talk about that in another issue, because I've got a royalty calculator for Spotify, YouTube, all these things. It's a pittance. I mean, you know, it's less than a tenth of a penny. So that whole thing about stopping you listening to stuff, but you can just go to YouTube.
That's the thing.
You can just go to YouTube and get it anyway. And
Yeah, it's
apparently
not
the
very-
artist gets paid, but I know for a fact.
No,
you don't
there's
get
not
paid
much
for
in it, really, is there?
Don't believe the hype.
I suppose they collect all the little pennies and keep it for themselves.
Give you the
We'll
dusting,
give you a little bit.
dustings off the floor.
Little spit. Oh, take care. Thank you
See
for
you later.
watching. Alright, I'm here to let you know that It's Not Punk by the Sea Fest is going to be happening from the 10th to the 12th of June 2022 at Milton Arms in Portsmouth. Get your tickets from Bright Events.
Summers of love have passed us by. You gotta fight on for your right to question why. There's still hatred in